Welcome to What's Joe Smokin'? I'm your host, Joe Lang. And today we have a special guest, a friend of mine that goes way back to college. And we hung out a lot, and he got me smoking some nicer cigars. A little background on that. So, I went hunting to his place up in Wisconsin. And when I got up there, I was like, hey, I'll bring some cigars because everybody was bringing cigars. When I came up there, I threw down a pack of Swisher Sweets that I had gotten in the gas station on my way up there. And Vince, his dad, and his brother look at me and they're like, no, we've got to introduce you to some finer cigars out there. So they're the ones that really got me started on smoking different cigars, introduced me to a lot of different types of cigars, explained a little bit about the cigars to me. So without further ado, let's go to our guest today, Vince Amoroso. Hey Vince, give us a little bit of background on your cigar smoking career, I guess not career, but hobby, and how you got started and what it's evolved to.
Uh, I'm fortunate enough to where my father and my grandfathers were cigar smokers. My father is still alive and he is still a cigar smoker, and my grandfathers have since passed. But they were cigar smokers. So when I became old enough, I guess 18 or whatever, when hit college and I wanted to get into it, I had a source. I had someone to talk to about it, to educate me on what's good, what's not good. You know, get the Dominicans, don't get the Swissers, stuff like that. I have vivid memories of when I was little, birthdays. My birthday's in June. My dad and my grandfather on my mom's side coming over and sitting out on the deck and having a cigar and drinking a scotch, for my birthday. And I hear stories about my father's dad. He died when I was little. I was like 6. But my dad says that he was a big cigar smoker as well. He liked very particular brands, and he had one every now and then, but he would partake a little bit when he's drinking the Chianti. So I'm fortunate to where I kind of grew up with it, and it's funny because my kids, um, I'll be smoking a cigar. They'll be playing in the backyard, and they'll come running by, and like my daughter will be like, "Oh, Daddy, that smells nice," and I'm just like, I hope that when I get a little bit older, and she has a family of her own, she smells a cigar and she'll think of her old man. So it's great. I grew up with it, so I had someone to talk to about it. And when your dad is a cigar smoker, and he's buying the Arturo Fuente Churchills that are like 9 inches long and are like $300 a box, and he goes, "Hey, try one of these." It's it's like learning to drive in a Ferrari. So I got spoiled. So I had to learn what I liked, and like everyone else, what I don't like. And yeah, so I'm fortunate to where my family smokes. My brother, I have 3 younger brothers, and as you know, but for everyone at home, I have 3 younger brothers, and they all smoke cigars too. And we all learn from the best. And one time I was in years ago dove hunting in Argentina, and Argentina doesn't have an embargo like the United States with Cuba, so I got to partake in have some
Ooh,
Cuban cigars, and
nice.
those were next level. You wouldn't think. You're like, oh, it's just a cigar. No, it's totally different experience. So I'm fortunate that I've been exposed to good
Yep.
cigars from the beginning.
You know, I've got the opportunity to try a Cuban, which I think it was a Cuban. I was down in the Caribbean, and a gentleman was selling Cubans and said they were Cubans. And man, I had one of those, and it was the best tasting cigar I've ever had in my life. And that was like 20 years ago, and I still remember that cigar. It was awesome. Glad I had the opportunity to smoke it. But yeah, you can't really find those around here. Maybe someday we will, but until then, you just cherish those little moments that you got to enjoy with a Cuban cigar. But Vince, what are you smoking tonight? Tell us a little bit about what you're smoking and how it tastes.
I'm smoking a Arturo Fuente 858. I brought out the goat, in my opinion, for my first time on What's Joe Smoking. This is one of my all-time favorite cigars. It's one that my father introduced me to many, many, many years ago. It's Arturo Fuente 858. It's a natural wrapper, um, and it comes from the Dominican Republic. And it's a good earthy cigar. You know, it's not a one that has like a lot of uh, flavor overtones of like a vanilla or a lot of the sweetness. I like some of those cigars. I've had some really good cigars that have like those notes. This one is just very earthy. Is like the term I can really think of. It's very like earthy, woodsy, very like a good like you can tell it's like a good tobacco type cigar. Dominican Republic is where Arturo Fuente, the cigar place, what do you even call a cigar maker? Is that like, I don't even know. Whatever their place is called, the distillery, the brewery, the rappery, whatever it's called. It's in the Dominican, and they make some good stuff. I'm a big fan of theirs, so I'm starting out with the 858.
Great. So this is your favorite. It's your go-to. How do you usually get these? I know you're out in Indiana. Do you get them from a cigar shop or do you get them online? Tell us a little bit about how you get your favorite cigars.
I don't have a lot of cigar shops by me. There are a couple, but they're the type of place where they have cigars in the corner and they just do a lot of cigarettes. Especially because I'm in Indiana and I'm literally exit one into Indiana from Illinois. And so with the whole tax thing with Illinois and Indiana, a lot of these places they're called smoke shops. They're selling cigarettes. That's the majority. They have a couple cigars, but they're definitely marked up. They're more expensive. I get the majority of mine online. I have a couple favorites. JR Cigar is a big favorite of mine. I've been using them for years. Famous Cigars is really good. And once or twice I've bought from Thompson. I use when I was starting out and trying to find an online person that even had them. I Googled it, and these are like the big ones that you get. These are the ones that have the magazines you get in the mail, and kind of the ones that everyone uses. So I'm nothing special when it comes to that. I go to JR or Famous. They usually have a good deal. What's nice about Arturo is it's fair market. So if you buy it from JR, you buy it from Famous, it costs the same amount. So that's nice. They're not doing the markup.
So you mentioned JR Cigars. I get quite a few cigars from JR Cigars online. It's an easy way of getting some cigars, especially if you know you like them. I also get cigars from a couple cigar shops here in town, and that's where I got this one, what I'm smoking tonight. It is a Charter Oak cigar. It's made by Foundation, and it is, they said medium to medium heavy. I would say it's more on the medium side for my taste. It's got kind of notes of cedar, like earthy tone, nuts. So it's really good. And to where I bought it another time. So to me, that's saying, hey, I like this enough that I bought a couple more of them. Uh, it's also a cigar that's uh, about not super long lasting, but not short. So it's a good golf cigar. You can kind of puff away, set it down, take your shot, come back to it, keep puffing, and it won't go out. So I really like that about the cigars, especially when I'm golfing or fishing or doing something else. That I find one that will stay lit and last a long time. So Vince, you mentioned that this is your go-to cigar, and to be honest, I'm not sure I've ever had one at hump camp. So when we're going hunting, I think you're hiding them from me. So uh, tell us a little bit about the how long your cigar usually lasts.
Might have had it. This is a nice one. This is maybe a half hour. And so this is what I like about it is that it's one, I like to call it the post mo pre-dinner smoke if you're having one. Or if you're having that after dinner in the summertime, you had a big, you just had a steak and some wine. You want to have that after dinner cigar. This is a perfect one. My only criticism is if you are golfing or you are fishing, if you're doing something else, it might go out. You have to tend to it. You have to stay on it. I used to like even light one to say when I was grilling. And if I'm, doing something, I got to put it down for a second where I need both of my hands and I'm like grilling or whatever. I come back in a couple minutes, it'll go out. So that's the only thing my only criticism. It might just be me. I don't know. But if you got to stay on the A58, but if you're sitting down having finishing your glass of wine or having a cold beer from just surviving your lawn trying to kill you, and you're having that cigar and you're staying on it, a good half hour. It's a nice smoke.
Well, Vince, I want to thank you for joining What's Joe Smoking. This is the first of what I think will be many appearances by yourself, whether it's on the phone here or live in person when we meet up to go hunting. But yes, thank you very much. And for those of you that didn't know, what Vince is wearing and what I'm wearing is all part of High Pulse Gear. We actually run that company together. It's at highpulsegear.com. We have a hunting and fishing apparel, and we're also on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. So check us out. We also have our YouTube channel as well. And then, of course, for What's Joe Smoking, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check me out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I post regularly on what I've been smoking that week, and post, so everybody knows. And if you have any suggestions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I'd like to try different things as well. But thanks for joining, Vince. And until next time, enjoy your next smoke.